The Scottsboro case was a very large incident during 1931 in Paint Rock, Alabama, when the unthinkable took place. It all started when the train stopped and a handful of white teenagers, once off the train, found a sheriff and said that a group of 9 black men had beat them up. Soon after, 2 young white women came off the train and said to the officer that they had been raped by the group of men. These women were prostitutes, and with it being illegal to be a prostitute, they thought that if they blamed the men for rape, that they wouldn't have any charges pressed. The only reason charges would be pressed would be because earlier the women had asked the group of boys if they wanted to use their services. When declined, they knew that they would tell the cop about it, then take the key off themselves. This seemed like a great idea until later. When in court, the sentence was death, and it didn't take much for the eight of nine to be found guilty. The one that wasn't found guilty was 13-year-old boy Wright. Before the sentence could be put to work, it had appealed. The second court they went also found them guilty.
But they still went to a third court because the judge found of the second court, despite the jury's verdict, thought that the case should be looked at again by another court. For the third time, the group of boys had been found guilty, but before the sentence could be put into action, the charges were dropped for 4 out of the 9 boys. The rest went off with minor jail time. One died in prison by a guard because of bad behavior and had been shot. Another had run away from parole and had gone into hiding. When in hiding, he wrote a book about his experiences and all the injustices that he faced throughout his life. Although the book was never published, it had been found and read by many. The other 3 had gone to jail, but 2 had run away and been sent back. As for the 2 women, they had been found guilty for both illegal acts, being a prostitute and invalid accusation of rape. Many still thought that the other 5 boys should have never gone to jail and gotten off with no punishment. Even after the case was over, many people in the South thought down on the boys and thought all of the boys should have been sentenced to death. The only reason the group didn't go back to court was because almost everyone in the North thought that the group of boys faced injustices and supported their freedom. All we can make from this is that those boys were in the wrong place at the wrong time. This is a photo of the men from the Scottsboro Trial. This is Charles Weems. This is Clarence Norris. This is Andy Wright. This is Ozzie Powell. This is Olin Montgomery. This is Hugh Gain Williams. This is Willie Robinson. This is Roy Wright. This is Hayward Patterson.